We are all sitting in our separate houses,
drinking all this
pandemic down with our coffee, separately, laid across the possibility of time and the frustration of not knowing how lengthy it may be. Telling ourselves that we'll teach ourselves new hobbies, all the while subscribing to new on-demand telly, or downloading Grey's Anatomy because we finally have the gift of time. Something we've been chasing since we were 5 and had nothing to do but imagine what tales could be told from the nowhere to go but our living rooms, or inside our bed sheets for inspiration. Now look at the adult version of us. Screwed up in balls on our sofas, used up tissues with a growing sense of nothingness. Reluctance bundling up in us. Pressure in a gas cooker, ruffling us. Wishing we'd made more of the days where friends would visit us, holding awkward cups of politeness in front of their lips, across the sofa from the family members who knew them before they were themselves, and watch the embarrassment of those memories tingle through their cells as they averted their eyes to the door, or to the bottle of wine they'd brought, with their bare hands. They'd carried it round, to be shared with you from the bottle mouth. I hope we don't forget what it felt like to share saliva on bottles,
or rims of glasses, or
cigarette butts. Because our friends were so akin to us, it didn't matter.
That kind of
love is contagious enough, or how it felt to be passed a lipstick in a bathroom stall of a club from a stranger, and never even second-guess that kindness as danger, because it reminded us of humanity and a grappling need to know what it might be.
I hope we aren't angry at
ourselves for moving away from the accidental touches on bus bells or rushing past strangers on trains, impatience raging to jump off at our stop. I hope we don't forget giving someone a hug and holding on for a little too long so that they burn up and look nervous, checking the room for an exit. I hope instead we forget overthinking it and remember the warmth gifted to us from the armpits of our friends. Some of them we haven't seen for months on end, and others it may be years now. Let's not pretend we shouldn't apologise for not noticing the absence of them between our arms, and how deeply it hits in our hearts. I've shed a few tears since the start of all this, but I hope we don't forget how it felt to have someone brush tears from the buttery dwellings of our eyelids and Cupid's bow, just in time to save us from the saltiness of past relationships and breakups. I hope we don't forget angry spittle settling on our foreheads from the angry mouths we once kissed, and kissing during the arguments to beg for forgiveness. And I really hope we don't forget sex with strangers in their apartments or the afterwards. The feeling of remorse for the aphrodisiac we thought gin was, or thought we was, in the darkness of door frames where we played the partiers. I hope we don't forget the passion in placing ourselves even closer to the only person in the room that you came for. So close we could tell we used the same fabric softener, or began to pluck up the courage to pick a stray fibre from their blazer.
I hope that the next generation
does all this and gets the chance to live like we have till COVID. I'm worried that they might not understand what it truly felt like to be unapologetic when you pushed into someone who took too long to drag their unathletic bones across paving stones you'd wish they'd trip on. Isn't all of this being human and living with one another's hope that it might mean something? A hope we can still touch one another without gloves on. Or laugh about how mad it was back in the days of antiseptic sprays and rainbows on our door fronts, of backing onto the road to get away from people with no masks on, gathering in front of the television to listen to the likes of Boris Johnson. I hope we don't forget to protest against them if that comes. And we can gather in thousands. Bodies rolling over each other in the fountains of London. Trafalgar Square turned into an abomination of human touch, a cauldron of openly loving each other's clothes off. Police and all brought into the mix to rejoice replacing this useless government and sticking it to them with whatever uncovered inches of our bodies we want to. I hope we don't forget to keep falling in love with our skin and our spits mixing up. I hope this poem's enough to keep us going. Till we find out what we all aren't knowing. I wonder if what we've been missing will still be showing up for us at the end of this tunnel of partial darkness. And whenever this lockdown lifts, I hope to invite you over to ours to sit all together in my house and be able to uncover our mouths and instead share biscuits round from a communal plate and digest this pandemic with bottles of wine and a smile on my face.